What is up, everybody? Happy day to you. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to cover today why real estate. People ask me all the time, how did you get started in investing in real estate and why real estate? And I'll tell you that some of the reasons of why I got started, along the way, I found out more reasons why I should be here and why I should continue to be in real estate. And so I wanted to cover just kind of on a higher level, real quick for me, some of the reasons of why we chose real estate and why we continue to be here. I'll create a little mini series out of this if you want to be able to go a little bit deeper into each one of these issues to kind of give you a heads up. And, just for the start of it, right? If you want to be successful, follow what other successful people do. I try to learn all the way along the way from other people, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. If they could save me some lessons and speed up my time of learning. That's how I feel like I've gone through my entire life. And so looking at, what are some of the people, if you want to consider financial success, for example, it doesn't always mean whole life success, but financial success, a lot of the people either found money or continue to make money in real estate. And so that kind of was the first, flag over to me to, hey, why don't you pay attention to real estate? HGTV, I talked about it before, was another little hey, take a look at me and all the stuff that you could do with flipping. It was very interesting and intriguing. And one of the things I love about it is it's pretty simple to understand. If you're going through and trying to explain to people Bitcoin, for example, sometimes it's like people scratch their head and what the hell are you talking about and mining what? And, it's something new and difficult to understand. Not that way with real estate. Most of the people that you know probably know a fair amount about real estate just because they've lived in real estate. They've seen it bought and sold or rented. And if you want to pull other people along with you, other teammates or other investors, for example, it makes it pretty easy to explain what real estate is. So, just starting off from the idea of it's simple to understand. People want to invest in things that they understand. If they're overly complicated, the confused mind says no. We talk about that all the time. Next is there's a relatively low barrier to entry, both financially and just the idea of time and certificates. People are like, hey, are you a licensed, realtor? No, I am not. When I did my medical stuff, I had 8 years of education tied up before I could take a test to then apply for a job. For real estate, I just started listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube, making friends with people, going to local RIAs, and then started to learn the process as I kind of went. Yes, you learn some expensive lessons along the way, but my point is that you don't have to have $1 million to get started in real estate. You don't have to have 10 years tied up. I love the idea of leverage. So leverage means I could do more with less, right? That's what a lever does. Real estate is a great one of these levers. I'll use a basic example. Yes, I know there's a lot more ways to do things, but let's just say you have a 20% down payment on a house. You can buy a $100,000 house with just $20,000. There's not too many other things that you could buy $100,000 worth of and control it for $20,000 for 20%. And we could teach you a lot more ways to get a lot more creative than that. More on that later. Other reasons why I love real estate, a little thing called appreciation. You buy your car, you drive it off the lot, it's worth nothing. For the most part, houses continue to appreciate as time goes on. Yes, there's housing bubbles. Yes, there's market corrections. There's some ups and downs. So there's some caveats along the way, and we can go into those. But for the most part, housing prices continue to appreciate over time. A little thing called forced equity, or what I like to call sweat equity. Got my Spartan shirt on because I'm ready to sweat. I like the fact that I was able to control a property a little bit, control the destiny of a property. I get into a property and I know what I can do to it to make it worth more money. I don't want to poop on Bitcoin all day long, but I'll use it as an example. Bitcoin, for example, I can't buy some of that today and make it worth more or less money tomorrow. Maybe I'm Elon Musk. But outside of that, I don't have any control over what that's going to do, right? I could try to guess and foresee what's going on there. Cash flow is another great reason. Cash flow being how much money my property is making me versus how much it's costing me. I get to put that money in an old hip national bank, as they say. So put a little bit of money in my pocket in that cash flow. Active cash flow is great. Mailbox money. Mortgage buy down. So this one, sometimes people will call it phantom cash flow. So as you pay off your mortgage, or better yet, as you have a tenant that pays rent, that pays off your mortgage, that buys down the mortgage, builds you in equity. You can't exactly put that money in your bank every single month or in your pocket every single month, but it is building up that phantom cash flow, okay? We could talk about ways to get that money out, though. And then there's depreciation. So as you start to put more and more of this money into old hip National Bank, now you got another problem. It was once said, everybody's got money problems, but some people just have better money problems than others. As you start to make some of that money, you want to figure out what to do with it and how to keep more of it. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. So depreciation is one of those things. Again, so while houses tend to, we'll get into it later, but as houses tend to appreciate, there's aspects of the home that depreciate, and you get to count those against your taxes, keep a little bit more money in your pocket. Again, I'll go more in depth. There's too much to go into. There's too many reasons to do real estate to hit them all up in one video, right? And then another advanced strategy that you can kind of get into, things that I learned along the way but didn't know necessarily from the beginning, is things like a 1031 exchange, which basically means when you make money today on a property, rather than pay your taxes, there's this little thing we could talk about it, but you could push those taxes down the road and say, I'm not going to pay taxes on that $100,000 I just made. I want to take all that 100 and put it back into another asset so I can continue to let that investment continue to grow, right? And especially in today's world, as we're printing money faster than we can print cornflakes, we're going to have to talk about inflation. And real estate is actually a pretty good hedge against inflation. So I think that covers most of the reasons of what piqued my interest in real estate and why I chose to stay. So hopefully that's helpful for some of you guys. If there's anything else that why you got into real estate or questions you have, go ahead and put them in the comments below. And I'm going to make like a little mini series out of this that we can get into. We'll dive a little deeper into some of the details of this that might help you make a move and hopefully make you some money and maybe save you a little money. So until next time, again, I am Zachary Betters, wishing you a great day and an even better tomorrow.